the Heimer.
All right, we're back at it.
Yeah, welcome back.
It's been a couple weeks. Been a while.
It has.
Yeah. How are you doing?
For us, at least.
Yeah. We've done quite a bit of. We made quite a bit of content, but it takes a while for the editing and posting and all that.
Yeah.
So that's good to have some footage ready. But yeah. Hope you all are enjoying the episodes. We love all the support and everything.
Definitely, yeah. We do have a new set right now.
Yeah.
Maybe some technical difficulties with the camper.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll use the camper other times and stuff, but thinking about sound and lighting and good Wi-Fi and everything, we'll give this a try.
Yeah. Hopefully this goes better,
Yeah. All right, well, what do we got today?
We have a topic, soulmates.
Soulmates?
Soulmates.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's a great question. And I think a lot of, so at least for me, I think a lot of people think of soulmates as maybe somebody that you would want to spend the rest of your life with. Somebody that you could possibly marry and that you connect well with. And some people actually maybe believe in a soulmate, like your one and only soulmate type thing.
Yeah.
Or just you could be with anybody as long as you get along with them. The other half of that debate. Yeah, so what do you think a soulmate is?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think when I was younger, I think like a lot of young people kind of, I feel like use it to mean like the one and only person they're meant to be with.
Yeah.
Forever, and it's like to a lot of people that even means beyond death. It's like eternity. It's like
your soul carries on with this other soul,
right?
Because you're mates.
Which depends on your religious beliefs and all that. But sorry, I'm making a little noise. I'm lighting a little incense here, just to set a little bit of a mood. But I don't know. Like you're saying, maybe it just sort of means like the person you want to live your life with.
But it could be okay. So. It could be your soul needed another soul in order to accomplish their next stage in life, we'll say. Oh. I think that's another way to think about it.
Yeah.
And so it could possibly be not only like a romantic type thing, but also a friend. Could be a soulmate. Does your souls just connect with each other?
Do you ever hear people say that? Like their plutonic friend is their soul? Like, I wonder
if a soulmate. I think perhaps you could have multiple soulmates that carry on with you.
Yeah.
After your body has decomposed.
Well, it seems to be like a good insurance policy. Like it'd be, like we normally say, the more friends, the better, and the wider your circle of people is, and so why not have more than one soulmate?
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people, particularly young people, think of it like that. The way they phrase it, I think, is the one and only.
It's the one and only person. It's who you're going to live with. It's who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this incense okay?
It's lovely. Right?
Okay. Yeah. It's lavender.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Kind of fairly strong, but I like it. I don't know if that's showing up on the camera, but we got a little something going. Well, so do you have a soulmate?
Well, okay, so that's
very personal.
Yeah. That is, perhaps I don't know. If it's okay, so if we carry on this definition of my soul needing another soul in order to accomplish my soul's destiny, I guess we'll say, in life. I think I have at least one person for that, my wife. If we, the one and only, the destiny type thing that maybe some of the childhood children, I guess, talk about. I don't know if it's like the one and only though. I think, me personally, I don't believe in there's just one person for everybody. Yeah. I think, I like this whole, wherever you are in life, that stage, you have another soul to help you through it. And that could just be your mate at that point.
Right. Right. Well, even maybe more fundamentally, so do you believe in this idea of a soul? This spirit?
That's a great question too. I think I do.
Okay.
I think there's something else other than just the matter that your body is made up with, all the atoms. We'll say that that your body's made up with, because it's like every 7 years your cells have regenerated, so you have a whole new body. Like, if you think back about yourself 7 years ago, you have a completely different body just because of the cells. That there's no existing cell from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So you have a different body, but you are still you, and whatever that is, whether it's an actual thing or whatever belief, I don't know, is something there that makes you you. And that's your soul.
Gosh, that is amazing science to think about it like that, like the DNA, like how do thoughts, how do memories continue on if we have new cells after 7 years, and there's a lot to think about with that. So this is more very personal question, but suppose your lovely wife passes away early. I'm thinking maybe bungee jumping off of a hot air balloon, or one of the typical. Yeah. If she passes away early, say at 35, then would you might repartner, and you might feel like that person was a soulmate, but then after you pass on, would you hope to reunite with Mackenzie?
Yeah, I guess that's a whole other thing. Like, do souls reunite after death?
Right.
I don't know.
Very honest, just like, it's true, really, none of us know any of this. But
let's say they do reunite after our death. I think every soul that has helped me, I guess, through my own soul's journey through life would be there, I guess, in the end.
It's okay. Well, that's an interesting idea, that maybe, like, at your own funeral, everybody's sad and crying, and your body and your spirit goes off to some sort of afterlife, and as soon as you appear there, it's the exact opposite. All your soulmates, or the people you've loved, are there waiting to greet you, and they're clapping and hugging you, and I mean,
that's a nice thought.
That's a nice thought.
Very nice, yeah.
Probably doesn't line up quite like that, but Well, what if you had two soulmates?
Okay, yeah. So we end one soulmate at 35, at least the living portion of that, and then I have another soulmate after that.
Right. And what if that soulmate dies before you? They die at 80 and you live to 85. And do those, your two soulmates, know each other in some sort of afterlife? Or tell me, John. We need answers to these things.
What is the answer?
You're the spiritual guide in this journey, right? What does Google say about this?
I guess that's a neat thing, right? And they have some sort of relation because of just the connection to the soul. And maybe all souls that would be in my life would actually get along with each other, because there's some sort of resonation there. Maybe just some sort of frequency that other souls also resonate with.
Have you had any other soulmates other than your partner? I mean, than your current partner? Or like
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think my soul has, resonated with others, friends and such. So I wouldn't say they're as strong though as a connection with my wife. Like, I would say that's probably the strongest soulmate that I would have, and possibly where that belief in just one soulmate comes from, is just because there is such a strong connection there between a wife and husband and the marriage.
It'd be interesting that, again, all this is very personal, but to think about the person you feel next connected to after your wife, in your whole lifetime, if they are a soulmate or maybe somewhat of a soulmate or you're not sure, it's interesting to think that like, and maybe don't take this just you, but for any of us to think that we might be walking around on this planet, maybe even in the same town or in same community with somebody that we don't even see anymore or we don't spend much time with, and that person could have sort of been a soulmate connection, and we're like,
right. So this is a past acquaintance. Are you talking about?
yeah, maybe somebody that we loved, you know, like somebody that you loved and you felt that great connection, and at the time you felt like they were your soulmate, who you're maybe not with now, and with that person, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to think that like, if one soulmate means so much to us, why do we maybe necessarily not have more or keep connected with people who maybe were soulmates at some point?
No, that's a great question, and it could possibly be just because of where we are in life, what our soul needs at that moment,
Right.
in order to continue its journey.
Yeah, maybe so.
And so you just lose contact with that soul.
If you just had to, sorry, I've got a lot of questions here.
Keep going.
Yeah, if you had just had a ballpark,
Mm-hmm.
just totally guess, there's no data on this list that I know of, what percentage of people believe in soulmates? Like, would you say this is like half of all people, or is it more like 10%, or just for fun, guess what you would think?
In the world.
Yeah, now, they may not use that term or something, but the idea of a soulmate. How many, just
43% to 66%.
43 believing in it. You mean.
43 believe in it.
Yeah.
To 66% believe. So it's a range.
Yeah.
In there
I see.
somewhere.
Yeah. So mid-range.
It's a mid-range, yeah.
I would guess that a lot of people who are not religious in any way would have a harder time. You know, if you're very concrete with the way you see the world and our lives, or very scientific.
Yeah, so there's some sort of sign, yeah.
You know, you're less likely to believe in that idea of a soulmate.
Sure, definitely.
Have you ever read The Onion?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll keep this brief, but they had, years ago there was a funny headline that said something like, couple in small Midwestern town amazingly find soulmates in the same town. I love that headline, it's hilarious. You know, okay, we get your point there, Onion.
That's good.
And it's like two teenagers, you know, which is how I viewed my life. I mean, I got married when I was 18. And
well, at that point, when you got married, well, first off, back when you were 18, not now, but back when you were 18, did you believe in a soulmate?
I don't think so. I don't think I did even then. I think I was one of those people that was reluctant to use that term, and I would say why. And no,
Okay, so let's take a step back. How do you define a soulmate? How would you, if somebody said, "Oh, do you believe in soulmates?" and you just need to say yes or no, what sort of things are you using to define that?
Yeah. Well, I'm probably a little less spiritual than you might be. I'm not certain about that, but I am very a soil kind of guy in the sense that I don't have religious or spiritual beliefs really at all. And so I don't exactly believe in the idea of a soul even. So for me, I feel like it's kind of a loaded statement. Not for other people, but for me, it's a loaded statement to say to somebody that they're my soulmate or we're soulmates, because I'm not, you know, it's not that I don't say that these things can't exist, it's just that I don't know, you know.
Sure, yeah, there's no proof of that.
Right, so I would have a hard time saying to somebody like, we're soulmates, meaning our souls will always be together, even after we die, we'll be together. Like, to me, that feels very far-fetched. And
well, I think that's where it's hard to tell what happens after death. I'm interested in what like during when you're alive, what do you consider yourself to be? Where do you think you live within your body? We'll say that's it.
Well, I would think in the brain.
In the brain, yeah. And there's some cultures that actually think they're in the heart, that they live in the heart. Which when I found that out, I thought that was very curious.
Huh.
Because I was like, right behind my eyes, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, that's going back to your earlier point about replacing our cells every 7 years. That's an interesting thing so we're replacing our brain cells every 7 years?
I don't know about brain cells.
Because that's fascinating, the way maybe the coding of DNA would work on memories and knowledge and experience. But, right, maybe parts of the brain or...
Yeah. But how do we, as how we see ourselves, continue to live when every 7 years all the cells have been regenerated?
Yeah, right. Right, in a way, like we're just continuously changing and evolving in our own lifetimes, and even obviously within the 7 years, we might be a very different person than we were 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so there's the physical aspect of who you are, and then there's the psychological aspect of who you are. And when I'm like, for me, I would say that I am a completely different person than who I was when I was 18. Both physically but also psychologically. Like I wouldn't, like thinking back, that doesn't even seem like the same person.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I feel the same. Yeah. Well, I'm shifting around a little bit here, but I, maybe connected to all this would be a little bit of the Buddhist idea of it's not always just reincarnation, but the idea that your soul continues in a totally different form. That's an intriguing idea that millions of people believe in. That's
so your soul just carries on through different objects that live on Earth.
Yeah, I mean, the way I've always heard that is that we live in the body of whatever animal or plant or whatever we would learn the most from by being in. So, like, if we, I don't know, suppose we were a logger and we spent our whole lives cutting down trees, maybe we would be reincarnated into being a tree to have that opposing perspective, and that over time, over the millennia, your soul was just developing all this knowledge.
So, if we continue along that path, and soulmates,
right?
Are you always connected with a certain group of soulmates? Do they all just follow each other?
Right, that's, like, again, scientifically hard to believe that, like, say, a snail in Indonesia
was
very common.
Metaphorical.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, this is why I can't quite make the leap. My brain is not there. I don't know if I'm not smart enough or not connected enough with the spiritual world or something, but I can't picture that. And sometimes that makes me feel kind of lonely and a little bit scared. And sometimes it makes me feel like a great impetus to take charge of my life now and to live every day fully and never squander away a moment. If I don't believe in some sort of soul,
that carries on.
Yeah. But
so how do you think that thought affects your everyday life? Or does it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm like most people that I struggle with living in the moment now. I'm almost always thinking about the next thing, and what we've talked about that on another podcast.
It's a struggle,
yeah. But I think it's a good goal. As much as you can to live now is important. But I suppose if I believed in the soulmate idea completely, like that I have a soul and somebody else has a soul, and that we're soulmates and that our souls will always be together, I don't know, I might get a little lazy. Forever? Whoa, that's a chunk of time. That's a lot. Forever? What does that mean?
Right, you have a lot of time to do stuff.
Yeah.
So I do it now.
Yeah, a little bit, like just. But I don't like that. What that does to my time on Earth either way.
Do you feel anxious about it then?
No, I think it's just very, just scientifically, my brain just can't go there. I mean, I just don't flat out believe it. Again, it's not that I don't think any of these things can be true, but I think what most people really mean when they say soulmate is more like meant to be together. Like they kind of use it as a little bit of a like this has a bad connotation, but like a leveraging point in a relationship. So like basically say like
if somebody's drifting away,
yeah,
no, we're
soulmates.
Yeah, come back.
Yeah, we're gonna stay together forever. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of the why we marry and why we do. You know, there's a lot of insecurity out there. People want to feel a commitment in every way they can. Let's be soulmates, friends forever, partners for life. Get married, stay together, die together, on the same day. Like, you know, that's a whole lot of insecurity in a way. It's not all just love. It might be some.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that goes back to just human nature. We're very social creatures.
Yeah.
We need other people, and they don't want to lose that other person. Like, people, they're a group of people, they don't want to lose them.
Yeah. I asked
So you call them a soulmate, and they can't leave you.
Yeah. I asked my partner, was it just today? Or I think it was just this morning. Mm-hmm. I said, so do you believe in soulmates? And she said no. That was her only answer. Okay, well, I don't know, I better get my act together and do a little bit better, you know. Like,
yeah, there's no chain there.
Right.
You can actually work at it.
Maybe there's a contract I can get her to sign or something. I mean, I guess that's a little bit of what marriage would be, but
it is a contract.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know about all that. I think with all those questions though, basically it's the classic, like every time you ask a question, there's 3 more questions. I think it comes back to the idea in my mind of living in the moment and loving the people you're with. And both of those extremely Buddhist ideas that, you know, like in Buddhism, this is something I teach to children some too, that it sounds very strange, but like I'm trying to think, like my grandma I love very dearly, she's about 2 hours from here, but a Buddhist might say that I should love Oliver today more, sort of, because he's the one.
Proximity.
Yeah, like that's the moment. Like the moment is right now, today, and so it's like it's a little bit like the old hippie thing, like love the one you're with. A little bit. I'm simplifying, but
I think that helps with. I mean, in a way, you can't predict the future. You can't. I mean, you can try to affect the future for yourself. You can do things to do that, but you can never actually fully understand what's about to happen. And the only thing you can really do is right now in the moment.
Yeah. 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 By the way, what are you drinking?
Oh, this is Campsite by Upland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Upland in Bloomington.
In Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Promo. We're not sponsored by them.
No, but they want to.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
What do you have there?
It's a mixture of things from the day. Mostly ice, but a little bit of Diet Sunkist, which is
mostly ice.
Mostly ice. And then some vitamin C packet vitamin stuff, just for fun.
Oh, yeah.
And a little bit of Italian soda.
Oh.
Not dressing. No, that'll be next episode. You should bring that drink to the show. We're getting a little kooky. All right. Well, we got that figured out.
Yes.
So.
Okay, along the same lines, but a little. Maybe we're off path a little bit here. Into the bush. But do you believe things happen for a reason?
Yes, I do, but I think that's very, very scientifically, Like, I think we don't know how much we're controlled by science. Like, an attraction to somebody might be a pheromone, or, you know, things that we don't even recognize. Like, and, you know, a tree branch falling in the trees, like, that's not like some sort of divine purpose for that falling. It's falling because it's dead and it needs to fall to the ground. And that tends to be how I believe. Like, things happen for a reason, but because they're connected to everything around them. What do you think on that?
I'm on the same page as you. I think, yeah, things do happen for a reason. It's not, I mean, I think people start going to this divine aspect because they can't explain how it actually happened. I think even through human history, the first thing we go to when we can't explain something, it must be the gods that did it.
Right.
We can't. So I think if we really got into it, really studied it, things do happen for a reason, but because maybe it could be like a butterfly effect on something.
Right, a gentle breeze can change the world.
Right,
yeah. Well, right now, a lot of times religion, it can serve a lot of needs, but religion can, you know, I feel like the biggie is it helps us handle the idea of death, how to die, how to handle the grieving of death. But it's different for everybody, obviously, but yeah, well, I mean, I guess, like, you know what we ought to do when we finish this podcast? We could sort of socially experiment with the people around us and proclaim them being our soulmates and see how they react to that.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're gonna like it.
Not my son. Maybe my partner.
Why don't you think? I think people like knowing that they have that stability of another person there.
Yeah.
Because in a way, a soulmate is there to help you, right?
Yeah.
At least that's the way I see it.
But nothing is really ever binding. No matter how great a relationship is, there's times where people should get out of a relationship, correct? Like with abuse or...
Yeah.
So, or, you know, weird things happen. People get addicted to drugs they don't even know about, and, you know, things, you know, and you kind of need to stick through the thick and thin and, you know, for years and really work on things and try everything. But there could be a point where you don't stay with your soulmate, I guess. Is that true?
Yeah, and that's a good point.
I'm not talking about murder. I'm talking about...
Well, maybe it wasn't a soulmate.
Ooh, so you mean if something happens that forces that to unfold, then you might say, you know, those people were never soulmates.
That does seem like a good way to explain that situation. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you could maybe be soulmates with somebody who's not good for you. Is that true?
Maybe. But when people go through kind of abnormal experiences, maybe harsh or hard experiences, they grow a lot from them, they learn a lot from them. So in a way, that soul did help them in a roundabout way. Maybe that's what they needed. I don't know.
Right. Maybe that's the path that person needs, is to struggle through something, have a hard time, and come out stronger for it. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Well,
that's probably a good thought to leave things on.
Yeah. A lot to think about again. I feel like we often say that at the end of our podcast, and I guess that's kind of
we hope you start thinking about all this stuff.
Yeah. It'd be good to hear a little bit more comments on the channel. I think people post comments a little bit more.
I would love to hear what others are thinking about all this.
I know my brother posts a comment on most of them. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm saying this on purpose on this episode, John, real quick, is we sometime could do a live stream where people could send in questions and comments that we talk about live.
Interview our audience almost.
Yes.
Yeah. Or they interview us or
If
whatever.
anybody's interested in that, please put that in the comments
Yes.
or let us know somehow. So, you know, if we
It'll
don't
be
hear
a lot of
anything.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. You could challenge us on some of these crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, as always, I would like to thank our executive producer, Schmidt.
Yes, and the whole production crew
Production
supporting
crew.
us, and everybody watching the episodes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.